building back stronger, safer, better.
The threat of hurricanes is ever present living here on the Gulf of Mexico. These storms can bring tremendous damage when they cross a vulnerable coastline, erasing decades of progress in just a few hours. I was here in Pinellas when Hurricane Elena gave us a scare in 1985. Even with the storm 90 miles off the coast, Pinellas saw some incredible storm surge that caused millions of dollars of damage. And when Hurricane Charley gave us a scare in 2004, the tremendous damage we were predicted to receive was visited on our neighbors to the south. While we can't do anything about the path or intensity of a hurricane, we can do something about how our recovery from such a storm would look. That's why we are creating a post-disaster redevelopment plan to rebuild our communities stronger, safer, and more storm-worthy. The county's existing redevelopment team will coordinate preparation of the plan, working with the cities, businesses, and citizens of Pinellas County. The plan will speed recovery for residents, businesses, and the government. This will also return a sense of stability at a time when it will be essential for the county and all its communities' well-being. This video will show you what goes into our countywide disaster redevelopment plan. I encourage you to get involved, ask questions, share ideas, and help preserve what is uniquely Pinellas County.
Pinellas County is a beautiful place to live and work. With 35 miles of white sandy beaches, 14 regional parks, the unique Pinellas Trail, 588 miles of coastline, and plenty of sunshine, it's no wonder why we feel so lucky to call this home. Economic opportunities, social and cultural amenities, renowned educational and healthcare facilities provide a climate unique and rich for our 950,000 residents and millions of visitors. While this variety contributes to the unique and beautiful area we call home, it also poses geographical challenges that make us vulnerable to a number of weather events and the impacts that accompany them. In a hurricane, for example, storm surge, flooding, and hurricane-force winds would cause serious impacts to large areas of Pinellas County for years to come. It's because of our unique geography and our dedication to public safety that Pinellas County has chosen to develop a plan that will serve as a guide for redevelopment after a disaster. The Post-Disaster Redevelopment Plan begins after the basic disaster response like search and rescue is complete, and it's time to pick up the pieces and rebuild our community. So what is confronting us from an economic standpoint after a major hurricane strikes? Countywide, 500,000 people could be directly affected, with more than 250,000 homes and businesses seriously damaged or destroyed by high winds and flooding. From a business standpoint, approximately 200,000 employees and 25,000 businesses could be impacted, with more than $11 billion in annual payroll lost. To create a plan of recovery from these effects, working groups will identify issues and propose action plans for how to rebuild a more disaster-resilient community. More than 100 representatives from local governments, community groups, and private residents will meet to help draft this strategy. Health and social services. With a disaster, the needs for these services will be exacerbated. It's vital that everything from hospitals and schools to public transportation and low-income assistance is restored. Housing recovery. After a disaster, it can be overwhelming. The strategy needs to ensure that our residents understand and can get assistance with issues such as temporary housing and waiting for insurance claims, permitting, and building codes. Land use. After a catastrophic event, there may be opportunities to change previous community design decisions and make them more disaster resilient. Infrastructure. From the standpoint of both the public and private sectors, there will be the potential to upgrade or relocate infrastructure and facilities in a way that benefits the residents and ensures a stronger community. Environmental restoration. After a disaster, the natural environment may be severely impacted. We need to address the potential for hazardous materials cleanup, to habitat restoration, to beach renourishment. Economic redevelopment. Our communities rely on economic stability and growth. The more quickly our local businesses and industries rebound, the sooner jobs, tourism, and business opportunities will return to our area. Financial administration. After a disaster, county and municipal services will be needed more than ever, and it will be vital for government to anticipate the costs of redevelopment and funding sources available. Public outreach. Communication is an important component to coordinating recovery and redevelopment. Through partnerships with community groups, local governments, and businesses, public outreach will deliver clear information to everyone affected. Before a disaster, every individual should have a plan, and for the future of our community, we need your help in creating an effective and useful post-disaster redevelopment plan. If at any point you want to review issue papers, see presentations, or give us your input, visit us online at www.postdisasterplan.org. Remember, this is your opportunity to get involved and help us plan to build back a stronger, safer, better community.